וזהו הטעם שנקרא האוסיוס התורה בשם עדות, and it's for this reason that the letters in the Torah are called testimony. Like it says that in your testimonies I rejoice, because they testify on the light of wisdom, that's hidden beyond revelation. That this testimony of the light of wisdom, of Chachma, is the idea of the five kindnesses that are rooted in Yesod Abba. The Yesod of parts of Abba, which is still above the concept of division or revelation, like we said. But the five strictnesses, the five gvuros of the letters that divide, they are from the light of Ima, the parts of Ima, lower than Yesod Abba. They're the ones that divide. And that's the meaning of the witnesses, the testimony of in Edus Mishnayim. And you do not have a testimony less than two people, two witnesses, Shin Edus Mamash. I mean, that sort of implies that you have to have a plural. You can't just have unity. To have a testimony, you have to have a division as well. And when you do not have the multitude of division, it divides into 600,000 and more. I'm not sure exactly what he's saying. But that when there's not the division, it divides to 600,000. But at any rate, these 600,000 corresponds with the 60 tractates of Gemara, like it says that you have 60 queens, valamos in mispar, and young maidens without number. So I guess the 60 queens are the source, and the division even further are the maidens. And they're called hairs and strands. And the source of all this division comes from Das. So in Chachma you have the five Chasadim, and in Bina you have the five Gvuros, and it divides in Das, which is the Edus. And this is the meaning of the verse: in the path of your testimonies I rejoiced like upon all treasure. Because what's this idea of treasure? Muvor b'Torah or Parshas Noach al pasuk Maim Rabim. So it explains it in Torah or in Noach on the verse of the mighty waters. Binyan with the concept of imi tein ish es kol hon beso, that if a man gives all the treasures of his house, they will be disgraced and so forth. That the waters can't extinguish the love. So what's the treasures that it's referring to in this verse? That's the higher Garden of Eden. And the Torah that's called the dear and pleasant treasure, that's drawn from the concept of the river that comes out of Eden, that comes from Das. So that is the hon, the treasure. This hamshacha from Das. It's called the treasure. So that's why it says, I rejoiced in your testimonies like upon treasure. because the treasure is this concept of the hamshachas hadas. Like it's written, like it says that you will fill the rooms of the house with das. So, call hon yakar v'naim, all treasures that are dear and pleasant. So, because with chachma and bina you establish the house, but you fill it with treasures with das, meaning to say the division and the testimony of that which is higher, that which is hidden, comes out in a revealed state in das. In a yakar gematria shai. Now, with one of the descriptions of this hone is that it's yakar, dear, and that's the gematria of 310 of shai, of a gift. Which is the gematria of 2 times kana, of acquisition. In the verse, I will acquire wisdom and understanding, chachma and bina. Those 2 acquisitions of chachma and bina are gematria yakar, or shai. Beis pamim kana gematria shai. V'kamashkasim izeh bebir al pasuk minor zahav. V'honu gamkin lashon riboy atzum. And hon is also a language of a multitude, of an awesome multitude. Shesh riboy madregos in kates, that there are myriads of levels without end. Bebechinas hon yakar hanal, in these dear treasures. So it's also a concept of division. We're talking about how das divides. So this division comes from das. Because these thorns of the hair that hit upon the back of the das, in order to divide it, this is the hairs, so to speak, from arich, from keser, small hamshachas of keser, that the das is in the middle line and gets, so to speak, hit by them, that the hairs, so to speak, fall upon it, on this lower part of the mind, or the brain, the back of the skull, where the hairs fall down upon, allegorically, to divide into, just like the multitude of hair, the das divides as well. And das divides into the 2 brains, the 2 minds of kindness and strictness. And these are the 5 kindnesses and the 5 strictnesses. And from this it divides further into myriads and myriads of levels. Like we said. And this is what it means, that you will fill the rooms with das, which are the 32 rooms in the mind. And they're called the 32 paths that open up. I guess just like around in the Mikdash, you have all these rooms that, so to speak, are paths all around the Kodesh. And it's not just rooms, but a path. And you have many of them, like, so to speak, 32. And these 32 are like we say, nesivos chachma, the paths of wisdom, I guess, that are revealed through das. And from these 32 levels are spread out myriads and hundreds of thousands of levels until it's called, in the plural, many precious treasures. So it's found then that this great multitude of riches that's called hon is dependent upon this division of knowledge to 5 kindnesses and 5 strictnesses. But before it divides, so das includes within it these 5 kindnesses and 5 strictnesses before it divides. That is, as it is still on the light of Abba, that's higher than this concept of testimony, that divides and spreads out into das, into division, like we said, that the division is 32, so it's hidden within Abba, which has Lamed Beis Nesivos HaChachma. Moshe. And where is this? What is this level? This is the level of Moshe. Within Moshe, Bo Vayakel Kol Adas, that he gathers all of this Adas, all of this congregation, this testimony within him, Shemikabitz Kol Ha'edus, that he gathers all of the testimony, Mistayfin V'nichlalim Bo, which spread out from him and are included within him, Kulam Ke'echad, all is one, Liyos B'chinas Koach Ma, B'chinas Atzmus HaChachma, and because he is the ability to have what? This concept of the essence of wisdom. Like it says that he was drawn from the water. That he is the concept of ma and the essential chachma of wisdom. And this is the meaning of the path of your testimonies. That this path is the glimmer of the light of Abba that shines. Derech, that's called the path. Like we said, it's called Nesivos Chachma, or the Chadarim Yimalu. That Abba unites with Das in order to include within it all the divisions that are going to come later. And David said that in this path, the Or HaChachma of the light of wisdom, he grasped and he saw. So he grasped and he saw in the first source that includes everything that will divide from it, in particular, that divides from Das, that's called the treasure. So that's like in Mizmor Kuf Yud Tes from Tehillim, B'derech Cedusech Asasti Kal Kol Hon. That's a pasuk from David, that he saw this and he rejoiced in the source of division that comes, the Hamshachas Hadas that will come from Chachma. For this reason, he said, in the path of your testimonies, the path that includes all of your testimonies, everything that will come from Das, I rejoiced upon it like all treasures. That is like upon all these treasures that are dear and pleasant. That we mentioned, all these divisions, hamshachos, that come from Das. Like we said, but the concept that Das fills the rooms, those 32 rooms and paths, because it includes everything. It's as if he grasped all of the multitude, the awesome multitude of division that comes from it. Look what it says in that Maamar in Torah or about Maim Rabim, where it talks about how if a man gives all the treasures of his house with love, will be degraded. Because the mitzvos are even higher than this. So if you give all your love for that, you can be ridiculed, because really you want to go to higher than that. You want to go to the mitzvos, higher than Chachma, higher than everything that's included within it. The mitzvos reach higher than the Hom Yakar, than all of the Hamshachas that will come from Chachma as divided by Das. Because the mitzvos are 260 pillars of light. Taf Reish Kaf ubeis pamim shaykan, and Taf Reish Kaf is 2 times shy. If wisdom and understanding, Chachma and Bina, Arcana Chachma, Kana Bina are shy, 310. So 620 is double that, and that's the mitzvah. So 620, not just 310 of wisdom and understanding of Chachma and Bina. Mitzvahs are gematria Keser. Keser is twice that. And look what it says in Maamar about the golden menorah, where it talks about you didn't serve Hashem with joy and good heart, greater than all. meaning greater than the Chochmah and the Bina, but on Keser. Meaning be'inyan sha'chochmah kolol ke'echad kol ha'yischalkus hanimshech me'hadas. Now, with this concept that wisdom includes within it all of the division that comes from das, even mimah shekazu b'lukuti Torah pashas ve'eschanan, can understand this from what's brought in Lukuti Torah ve'eschanan b'bir al pasuk ve'eschanan sof perek aleph b'inyan b'chinas re'iyah. There it discusses the concept of vision. V'havaya le'im yira'eh, that Hashem will appear to them in a vision. That this type of vision includes within it all that you will grasp, that would take you a long time to grasp. In one moment with the vision you see it all. Meaning to say all of the details are included in it as one. It's a concept of vision, yira'iyah. And that's the concept of Chochmah, including the das. How that's an allegory for it, that you just see it and you saw everything, even though it includes many details. Look what it says in the Maamer, that he will wave his hand upon the river, where it talks about, like the days of Egypt, I will show you wonders. You'd say that you're gonna, why? Because you're gonna get up to the level of Eden, which is higher than the river that goes out of Eden that divides. You go up to the spot where it's beyond division, before the division, above the division. That's the Eden, which is higher than the Nahar. And this is that the Torah is called. So it's interesting that the word Eden has the word Eden in it, a witness. Although he's not going to explain that necessarily, and it's not the actual root of the word. But it's interesting that it's in there. Or Eid Nun, the Eid as it comes down to the Nun, the 50 gates maybe of Bina. And this is that the Torah is called your testimonies in two ways. Aleph Torah can all. The first is in the letters of the Torah, like we said, that it divides into letters. And the second is because of das lasha osios or nikra eda canal. It's only that the letters are called in the feminine, an eda, a testimony, the parish eda hamatzeva, where we explained the ed hagalazeh and eda hamatzeva, that the pile of stones is a witness in the masculine, and the pillar is a witness, is a testimony in the feminine. That's the concept of the letters. You have masculine letters and feminine letters and so forth. The concept of das is ziranpin. That's the Torah that comes from Chachma, like is known. The novelos Chachma Shalom Aylam. V'zeu shekasav v'yakum edus b'Yaakov chulon. This is that it says that he lifts up or he establishes, stands up the testimonies in Yaakov. Yaakov, I guess, is Zah. And through the study of Torah, you awaken with your voice and speech. The first source of the father founds the daughter. That the speech is the daughter, and the father, like we said, is the Chachma, the Yesod Abba, where it's the das is rooted in, that from which comes Hamshach HaSadas to divide into the letters, the Edus. And And this allegorically is like the flame that's attached to the coal, that within the coal it's hidden. And through blowing upon it, you take it out from the hidden state, that while it's still hidden, it did not have any colors at all. You couldn't see the colors of the flame. Only when you blow out, you blow towards the coal, the flame comes out, and you can see the colors of green and white and so forth. It comes from the hidden to the revealed. That's why it says, my words are like fire. And it comes out in this way. First it's hidden, then it's revealed. But in the source of wisdom, where it's hidden, there's no colors there. That the colors represent the different attributes, kosher, pasul, kosher, or no good, and so forth. Torah. That's why our sages said that what falls from wisdom is the Torah. That in its source you can't tell. It's only as it comes out from its source, in the vision, where you can see the different midos, the different colors. That is to say, that in comparison to the source, the first source of wisdom that's hidden, all these letters of the Torah that come in a division from das, in voice and speech, it's only called that which has fallen down. And only the external to the true level of wisdom. Like we said, the path of your eidos, of your testimonies, testifies to the hidden state of chachma, because they come from it. The 32 paths, as it comes divided. But on the level of chachma v'yakil Moshe, it's all gathered into the level of Moshe of chachma koachma. So in short, we talked about how the Torah is called the path of your testimonies. Just like the letters testify to the essence of wisdom. They're also drawn through the 5 kindnesses and 5 strictnesses that divide the breath. And wisdom itself is beyond the letters. This is the meaning of the verse. And the path of your testimonies I rejoice like upon all treasures, which is the idea of that you fill the rooms with das, that you divide and draw down the hamshacha of das from chachma, kolhon yakar v'naim, all treasures that are dear and pleasant. That's the idea of that which has fallen down from wisdom. Which are the letters that divided up. And that's the concept of letters, and they're called hairs. And through the study of Torah, with voice and speech, this awakens this first source in Torah as it's all as one. This is like the flame that's attached to the coal. That through this you draw out the flame from its source, which is chachma, that includes within it all the division of the letters.